First question is, have you ever seen, I guess, have you ever seen any type of testimonial service or something like this before?
No, I've actually never seen a testimonial service at all before, which is why when the idea was first put to me, I thought it was amazing. I've been struggling with I say struggling. I mean, I've been messing around with trying to get a really good process for extracting really useful and ultimately heartfelt testimonials from clients for a really long time. And so, you know, as you know yourself, there's a whole bunch of processes that you have to go through in order to really make the information that comes at you, comes at you valuable, something that you can actually use with people. And a lot of time you sit down with your testimonials kind of disappointed that by the time you have a look at them and you put them up, all the emotion, all the connection, all the real value of what the testimonial is supposed to push across to people doesn't seem to be there. So certainly this idea of a testimonial service that could do that could actually extract, for me, the most important thing here is that they could extract emotion, not just facts, not just data, but actual emotion from people that say, this is what this did for me, and this is how I feel about it. So this is, in talking to you, this is the first time I'd heard of anybody that was going to kind of take that sort of approach. So yeah, that's fantastic for me.
What do you talk about the emotion and connection with it. What is it that you liked about it the most? The one you saw it was done. What was it that just kind of hit you and said, all right, this is pretty cool?
What I really liked about this particular testimonial service the most was that it was real, it was authentic, it was genuine. You could see, I mean, yes, you could see that there was a skilled questioner behind it, someone who had definitely asked the right questions. But you could also see that the people hadn't been rehearsed, they hadn't been told what to say. They were very spontaneous, very genuine answers that were coming. And for me, that means a lot. Because whilst I love testimonials and I love people blowing my trumpet for me and saying, hey, Dax is a fantastic guy, I would hate to be associated with something that was staged or felt staged. And so for me, the biggest thing was just how natural it felt. I mean, to be honest, it felt so natural. I mean, I had tears in my eyes, kind of watching the thing. Watching their emotion about me brought out my emotion. So that was one of the things. I also loved the way I was about to say soundtrack. The kind of just the mood music that went with the video really set off the video. I mean, it would have still been powerful if all it was a bunch of people's words saying really lovely things about me. That would have still been fantastic. But I think just the little touches, like how the music blended in, how each part of the feedback of different individuals, particularly in the big video, in the compilation video, kind of seeing how everybody blended together on the same answer. That was fantastic. I really loved that because there's a real strength and a depth of feeling associated with that for me, and certainly the people that have seen it have kind of told me the same things.
What type of feedback have you received from others who have seen these?
Yeah, the feedback from others about this particular testimonial, or this group of testimonials that you did for me, because you did a couple, the feedback I've received so far has been amazing. I mean, people have told me that they had tears in their eyes on my behalf. So kind of, even though the testimonial wasn't about them, they could actually see and sense and feel just how much regard the individuals that did the testimonials had for me, and by extension that made them feel quite emotional. So the feedback has been fantastic, and certainly I still, every couple of days I have a sneaky watch of one of the testimonials just to give myself a little if you will, an ego boost, a little pump session just before I go out and do stuff. It's very, very powerful.
What would you say separates this service from maybe someone just going and getting testimonials by themselves from maybe their customers or clients?
I'd say what separates this from just sitting down, and I've done this for years, sat down with my own computer, kind of mashed together bits and pieces of testimony. I think what separates this is, first off, it's a really difficult thing for two people to face look at each other and for one of them to say, tell me what you love about me. I think that's a really difficult thing to do. And even if the person genuinely loves you, because you're in a position where maybe you don't feel great asking that question because you're like, oh my God, I'm going into a big brag session here and just tell me how absolutely fantastic I am. So I think it can make you feel uncomfortable, but I think it can also make the other person sometimes feel a bit uncomfortable as well. So you end up with these really stilted, kind of very formal, yes, I've been training with Dax Moy for 3 years and he's an amazing coach and I can't recommend him highly enough. And that, to be honest, in the past, that has been the kind of experience that I've seen from testimonial videos. Mine, because I am quite a personable person, right? Kind of, I'm quite relaxed. When I work with people and I gather testimonials, they generally tend to give me much more relaxed than that. But still, there's always this awkwardness of being the asker, and you can see that the other person is kind of, in their mind, they're cogitating the idea that, oh, I don't want to come across as a complete suck up to you as well. So I think having a third person do that for you allows people to just really speak from the heart. Whereas maybe, I guess the best way for me to explain it is that when you do person-to-person testimonials, that I think they tend to speak from the head more. They start to cogitate, they start to compute and say, what is it that Dax wants from me? What am I supposed to say? What is the kind of the ultimate thing that he wants to hear come out of my mouth? I think in the process that you've created, because I'm nowhere in the room, I'm nowhere in sight. It's just two people having a conversation about where obviously the questions are focused, and it's a testimonial service, so they're focused to shine me in a good light. But at the same time, they're authentic, they're genuine, and they're very heartfelt answers as opposed to head driven.
I guess if you were to use one of these, let's say maybe in a sales letter or as a sales video or for training business or whatever, what would you say that maybe the value or the price would be on like something like this that's worth to your business?
My honest and genuine answer here is that I would definitely say in some respects it's priceless until you've had one of these done for yourself, until you kind of look at one of these things and you see the depth of connection and the depth of impact that you've made on other people's lives. It's really, really hard to judge, kind of sitting back and maybe you're looking at somebody else's testimonial video and going, yeah, that was good, liked it, kind of, and then you're trying to bring about a value. For me, it was absolutely priceless, and I know exactly how I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it to influence people in an absolutely fantastic way. It won't just go on my personal training success website. It will go onto other websites as well. So I'll use it in multiple genres to essentially tell the world that Dax Moy is held in pretty high regard by a bunch of really great people. So this would be one of the things that I would say is are you just kind of, are you considering getting one of these for a trumpet blowing sessions as just something to post on your website? To be honest, if that's the case, you could probably just stick with your kind of stilted "Hello, I'm Dax Moy" videos, right? Or tell me what you think about Dax Moy. Isn't he a great cat? Right? You can stick with those kind of videos and throw loads of them. If you're really, really trying to influence people, not just at the head level, but at the heart level, and in terms of really make a connection, I don't see, to be honest, I don't see any price as being too much for that, because I've seen the magic in my, you know a bit about me and you know a bit about my marketing approach. I've seen the magic in a heart-led marketing approach as opposed to a head-led one, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't really have to market very hard at all for anything that I do, because basically people feel they've connected with me at the heart level. Well, this is just another tool to basically put a lot of heart into your marketing without having to become that sleazoid kind of salesperson who's trying to do a heavy sale on everyone.
Tell me about the fact that it was done for you. What you like about that and time saving.
So what I really liked about this was, to be honest, was the whole done for you aspect, right? A lot of people have this idea that doing a video testimonial only takes a couple of minutes. A person's a minute in front of the camera, you upload it, only takes a couple of minutes, and then you ship it off to YouTube and it's ready to go. And yes, that's true. I mean, you can do them quite quickly. That said, most of those kind of testimonials that end up on sites, they're good enough for base purposes. They're good enough for if we're just talking about throwing data out at people, they're good enough. If we're talking about a really great service of someone who's actually going to ask the important questions and the stuff that's going to bring emotion into the marketing material, and if we're also talking about kind of presenting it in a way, I always say, like, one of the things, if you were given a gift on your birthday and it was just thrown at you in a carrier bag, right? It could be the most expensive gift in that carrier bag, but you wouldn't necessarily appreciate it. You'd open the bag and you'd say, oh, thanks very much. If you get a gift handed to you in a gift wrap package and all bows and everything on it, and it's handed to you with kid gloves and delicacy and care, you pay a lot of attention to it. For me, this approach feels much more like that. It feels like someone has gift wrapped the whole thing for me. Okay, and because of the gift wrapping, both in terms of not only the quality of the questions, but the quality of the video, putting in the soundtrack, putting up the kind of, you know, the elements of the question up on the screen and all those kind of things. The gift wrapping really, really makes a difference to me, because it means that whoever receives that gift receives it with an idea of value. There's a feeling that something's been special, something special has been done around it, as opposed to thrown at them in a carrier bag. Hey, here's something that's thrown together in 30 seconds. So to me, the whole done for you aspect has brought an extra value. It's not only saved me time, which is obviously important. You know, kind of, I'd rather not spend a lot of time doing this kind of thing. But it's not only saved me the time, but it's that feeling that there's the gift wrapping has occurred, and for me, that's the biggest value.
For someone that's thinking about it, maybe they're on the fence, they're not sure, you know, if this is for them or they're not, whatever, for whatever reason, what would you say to them?
I would say, whatever you do, don't buy this package. It's terrible. It's a terrible idea. For anyone, no, seriously, for anyone thinking of actually taking out this package, this idea, this concept, I would say go for it. Right, kind of. It's one of those things that you're never truly going to understand the value of it until you have your one done. I mean, you can look at mine and you can look at the video testimonials of other people that have been done, and kind of you say, oh, I get the value of it, but you don't truly get it until it's your name being spoken by the people on the video. Like when you're on the receiving end of it, you go, oh wow, and because you feel emotion about it, you feel emotional and you feel connected and you feel the value. You tend to treat the gift as something valuable, and you don't use it sporadically and in crappy ways. You use it in a way that you know, you put it out to the world with kid gloves as well, so that other people see it and they go, wow. I know a couple of people that you've done this for so far now, and you know, each of them have actually told me it kind of brought them to tears, as it did me. Right? There's a lot of value in that, and it's not just the self-aggrandizement. It's the feeling that you have something of value, like real, genuine value, to put out there, and that other people can connect with it at that heart level. And I think that's amazing.
Anything that you think you'd want to add about this, maybe we didn't cover?
To be honest, I would say, you know, I know this will sound salesy, but I would say go for it. Right? I make, you know, if we're just talking about the nuts and bolts of my business, I make a lot of money through connecting people with ideas and concepts. That's what I do, right? I specialize in, and whether that be in the one-to-one coaching, whether that be on my mentorship programs or in the seminars that I teach at and all these kind of things. Essentially, I get paid a lot of money to move people both in their thinking, but especially to move people at the heart level. And I can see just how powerful this testimonial process is because of essentially how it moves people, right? If I've made my business and my entire career around moving people by connecting with people at the heart level, and I can see that value, I'd be nuts not to recommend this, because that's exactly what it does. In very, very, very short order, it allows a person who maybe for the first time they're coming across your work, but they managed to shortcut years of building up that relationship with you by piggybacking on other people's relationship with you and seeing them in very real and very, very authentic and genuine terms, as opposed to what I think sometimes is the danger of the testimonials that go onto sites, is they sound very heady. They sound very engineered. I worked with Dax Moy for 3 months and I earned this amount of money, and it's the best investment I ever made in my life. That doesn't necessarily connect people to each other. What that does is it might flick up a little radar and go, right, okay, this guy's made this guy some money. But it doesn't necessarily make you think brilliant things about me. But when you see a group of people on video saying, man, this guy has completely changed my life, and I feel that kind of, if it wasn't for him, my life would be very, very different. That's a completely different message. And even though these people may not even be telling the facts figures. They might not be saying, Dax, help me earn this amount of money or lose this amount of weight or do these specific things. What they're talking about is feelings, and those feelings are extremely powerful. So what would I say? I would say any time you can get a shortcut to have people demonstrate their true feelings about you, you have probably the most powerful, I hate to use the word in this particular instance, but I guess it counts. You have the most powerful marketing tool you could possibly lay your hands on. Right? This is kind of it's the holy grail of marketing. Have people pour out their heart about you as opposed to just talk about you in terms of nuts and bolts. So I think if you're sitting on the fence about this, if you're even doubting the idea that a testimonial service like this could work for you, I would say just go for it, because ultimately you're bypassing certainly months, but maybe even years of core message building and relationship building with people, because they're getting to see who you are like that. So I would say go for it.